gonna pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
Do you have a flag?
I love gold.
Get at me.
Target locked. Ready to fire.
You can't handle the truth.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. We got a sea of red. A lot of data coming out this morning. We had some ADP, some JOLTS job openings data, some ISM market services coming in for this morning also. But guys, last week we talked very clearly about this golden pocket. And I said, if we break this $89,000 range, which is where the futures delta was holding us at, is where the gamma top was at. I said, if we break this, we can move very quickly. The target that I would be watching would be in the golden pocket. And if you take a look there, we did not get a candle close. Well, I guess it was a tiny bit, but we did not, for the majority, did not get a candle close above this golden pocket. We got a rejection off of it. Another retest. Down it came. Look at this. Look at this retest of the 0.66. Nice bounce back up. Now we are falling through it, heading back down to our lower levels. This is what we had talked about last week. We warned about it this week, and now here we are watching the markets just dump on the data today. Guys, we're going to break this down. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff in the news. What all do I have on the news side again? Let's see. We got Trump wanting Greenland. There you go. Eric Wallen. There you go. Trump's going out to Greenland evidently now. Talking about military usage even. Who knows anymore. I'm just here to make money, man. We're also going to take a look at what's going on with the ADP jobs report that we got this morning. And I got some stuff on X marks the spot. Plus, we're going to dive in deep on the charts. Where is Bitcoin heading to next? Shout out to the alumni that are all here in the chat. Shout out to all the OGs joining us from Alex O Crypto. Appreciate everyone being here. And if you're watching us on X, give us a shout. I can see it here. I can see if you're on X. We'll give you a special shout out if you're watching us over there. But let's go ahead and get into it, guys. You know what time it is. Class is in session. Let's go. Shout out to also Alexander G dropping all of the links today in our mod queen, and a special shout out to Chart Prime, the sponsor of the Morning Market Report. Let's go ahead and get the co-host up here, the man, the myth, the legend, the OC guy. What's up, dude? How you doing, man?
Not much, doing fantastic. Just enjoying the day. I mean, it actually, Bitcoin is behaving the way that we were expecting. In fact, you called out since the last week, couple of targets. They worked perfectly. Right now, I'm just waiting for that bounce. And right now, I'm just waiting for that bounce. Looking for the next possible entry. Being patient because I'm seeing the oscillator maybe breaking through that zero line. But we're going to take a look at that farther throughout the day, throughout the class. But other than that, doing fantastic. How about you?
I'm doing fantastic, man. I went shopping yesterday and got some clothes because, I went to Europe for Christmas. And it was cold as hell. Now I'm going to the Caribbean for 14 days where it's going to be nice and warm. So I had to go get some clothes. Well, the wife really did, actually. I got one shirt. But it was from Tommy Bahamas, so we'll leave it at that. But look, let's go ahead and see, did I make the right choice? spending money yesterday instead of dollar cost averaging at the levels we were at. OC, what do you got for us on the Bitcoin chart? Let's jump in. Let's talk about that, and then we'll get into the news. What do you got for us, man?
Absolutely. This is exactly where we left out yesterday, right? So we were talking about previous monthly high, and we updated our resistance areas, right? If you guys remember, we had this line just a little bit lower here and basically topping up that resistance point, right? So this line up here was basically here, and this line right down here was basically right down there. So we just scoop it up a little bit higher and to coincide with this little range, which it seems to be the most accurate zone, right? And right here, we see that we were expecting a little retracement since yesterday. We are retracing, and we are retracing right to the dynamic reactor, right? I mean, we were speculating that the dynamic reactor for by now would have been a little bit higher, but it is what it is. I'm going to just remove this right now, right? Also, I'm going to remove this one right now. And let's bring up our quantum reactor. So let me turn things on in here. And let's wait for that quantum reactor to appear. And let's give it a second while this loads. And come on, trading view, whenever you want to wake up. There it is. All right, so it's a little bit farther down below because of how fast this thing has been moving. And well, we're expecting to get some resistances or some support right somewhere around 90,623. Not only because that's approximately where dynamic reactor is going to be, but also because we have some order blocks right down there. If you guys do remember, let me bring them up. There we go. And also bring this one up in here. And if you guys recall, we had two little order blocks. There it is. Two little order blocks. One is been taking out right now. Remember, there were two 50-50. And the other one that was a little bit lower, it migrated even lower at somewhere around 88,728. So long story short, what are we expecting out of Bitcoin? All right, so there is two possibilities in here, the way that I see it. All right, and I mean, not that I see something means that it's going to happen, but most likely it's going to play it out one way or another because it has already all of the characteristics for a Wyckoff scenario, right? So let me just clear my setup here so we can bring up more stuff on it. And well, the very first thing I want to bring up, it is the classical Wyckoff chart that I always show you, right? The one that created by Binance. So this is it. And in here, we can see that the last movement is to the downside, having a spring, which usually that spring is at the same zone or maybe just a little bit lower from the SC, right? Remember, this is the classical Wyckoff, and we're expecting this last opportunity for the spring, right? But what if the economy is just doing just a little bit better and that can reflect onto Bitcoin? What if we get some stimmy checks? What if we get some, I don't know, taxes rebounds or taxes paybacks? Well, if that is the case, or for somewhere we get some positive bullish news, instead of going lower to get that Wyckoff bounce or that Wyckoff spring, well, there's another Wyckoff scenario that is not that popular, which is this one in here, right? And I want you guys to notice that instead of going down and making a spring below the V-shaped recovery, instead of that, it does a range at the end. Basically, instead of correcting down over price, it corrects down over time, right? And that gives us strength, sign of strength, basically making or leading to the next reversal that we all like, right? Or that we are waiting for. So this is the next chance that we can have for that possible continuation. At this point, we have basically everything, and the breaking point is going to be first your dynamic reactor. And if you lose your dynamic reactor, don't give it a thought. I think that we're going lower, even somewhere around 84,700, 84,800 at least. And then if we break that line, I think we're going much lower, basically confirming the bear market scenario. So let me bring up just my not this dynamic reactor, sorry, my bad. I want to look at where is it? Oh, I don't have it here. Well, Poly profile bar magnifier. That's the one that I was looking for. Here it goes. And as you can see, I use this one for my falling knife strategy. And the very first area to catch that knife, as you can see, it's somewhere around 85,858. If we just prolong it and think that we might have some momentum, well, then we can even get somewhere around 83,800. We have another smaller hit that adds to it the idea that very first we could be looking for that range. If that range fails, second point. And if that second point fails, guess what? All the way to 62K, 62,700, 59,400. So buckle up because we are about to confirm or deny the bear market. Everything is all right.
Everything's fine. Let's go give a shout out to the chat before we jump in the news over here. We got F Bomb in here. He said, "Hey there, good morning. Mark Dutch is in here. A job, 100%." He said he is replying to John Nathan. Should I get a job or a funded account? Why not both? Get the job until the funded account shows that you can replace the job's income, and then you can move forward. Don't jump without a don't jump without a parachute or some type of support beneath you. Okay, it takes time. It takes time. Everything is fine. Alexander G, appreciate you being here. I saw CJ Taylor in here earlier. Blackie J, appreciate you, man. Good show this morning. I was listening in on it after the show, but while I was setting up for today's show. Crypto Coin Mindset, Keith, appreciate you being here, man. Where are your morning shows at, Keith? You're killing me, bro. Shout out to Mark Dutch in here. He's got his Bitcoin cog, man. That's all he needs in life. Who else we got in here? I've got a bunch of people, man. Man, there is 129 people watching right now, 127 on YouTube, 2 on X. If you guys haven't done so yet, smash up the like button. Shout out to everybody that's joining us here. Let's go get in on the news, OC, because we got some news to go over here. I'm going to get this set up real fast. Little slide there. There we go. Let's check out these metrics into the Cryptoverse. Link down below if you guys are interested in getting in on this. It's not an affiliate link at all. I pay for it and I use it, and it's got some great data in it. So looking here at the total crypto market cap, $3.129 trillion right now. Trend on this at $4.659 trillion. We are currently undervalued 32.83%. Looking at the risk levels here for Bitcoin, 41.6% risk band. This, of course, is part of the Piper Academy DCA plan, the Piper plan. So check that out if you're a member. $5 a month, you get access to that and JR's trades. By the way, I watched JR live this morning too. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, the Art of Crypto, I think is what it is called. Forgive me, JR. But yeah, you guys should check that out. We can probably get a link down there drop for you. JR going live into the Cryptoverse. Yep, there's a link for that. Appreciate you, Alexander G. But yeah, he's got some killer trades he's been doing in our Discord and on his channel also. So looking at Bitcoin dominance right now with stablecoins, we're sitting at 58.11%. Take away the stablecoins, Bitcoin dominance still sitting at 64.18%. Looking at liquidations here in the past 24 hours, we've had 123,118 traders get liquidated. Total liquidations coming in at $489.64 million. The largest single liquidation order was on Hyperliquid. It's $411.27 million on a Bitcoin trade. Good job, you. Good job. Bookmarks into the Cryptoverse. First of all, if you guys don't know about this, this just came in like 2 hours ago. Breaking news. The U.S. has attempted to seize a Russian oil tanker in the Atlantic Ocean. Russian state media reports that a helicopter was looking to land U.S. forces on the Russian tanker. Flight data also shows that 4 U.S. Air Force aircraft were around the tanker. Don't know what this is about, but who knows, man? Geopolitical tensions are not done yet, guys. And that 2026, this may be the year of geopolitical fallout. That's what this year may be, because it's getting insane. Yeah, we did a good thing, but let's not take it too far, you know? Look at the fear and greed index. We're currently sitting at 42 right now in fear on the crypto market. Check this out. Higher level whales. Conflicting high leverage whales are going against each other. One whale opened a 40x short with 358.85 Bitcoin. after depositing $2 million in USDC, while another opened a 20x long with 980 Bitcoin after depositing 15.5 million USDC. So we've got two whales, one that's doing about 358.8 Bitcoin, 40x leverage on that one, and the other one with 980, almost 3 times as much, going 20x long. And we'll see. I don't know who's going to win this one. What do you think, OC? Who's going to win this one, man?
Oh, I don't know, but that's gonna be fun to watch.
We got whale wars going on. Also, you guys remember me talking about the MSCI thing, where they were looking at these Bitcoin funds versus actual companies and their access to the ETFs and so on and so forth, being able to be listed in all of the indices. Well, MSCI, that's the company, that is the agency that was going to decide in January. It looks like as of right now, they have chosen not to exclude Bitcoin and crypto treasury firms from global indices, removing the risk of forced passive selling. MSTR MicroStrategy, aka Strategy, reacted immediately. Prediction market cut delisting odds to near zero, but there's a trade-off. MSCI has also capped the share counts used for the index weighting, meaning that it won't be one of the heavier ones. It's going to be like a very small percentage of an index's basket, right? So they won't get future equity issuance for passive inflows like they were. So major downside risk was removed, but automatic upside via index mechanics has been capped. From here, the crypto treasury stocks trade less on index flows and more on fundamentals. So MSCI has done that. However, Coin Bureau putting this out right afterwards, MSCI signals more review ahead for crypto firms. Despite the recent announced decision, analysts warned that the future MSCI rule changes could still impact firms like Strategy. MSCI says the framework requires further research and consultation with market participants. So not completely out of the woods yet, but they do have a little more clarity than what they had before. Also, silver overtakes NVIDIA to become the world's second largest asset by market cap, surging to $4.63 trillion, led only by gold. Currently, silver right now sitting at $77.36. Gold is at 44.50 in that ballpark. So, and then lastly here, the banks are crying. I know my bank is crying because I don't have anything in my bank. $6.6 trillion in bank deposits are at risk. U.S. bankers warned that yield-bearing stablecoins could draw up to $6.6 trillion out of the traditional banking deposits, potentially threatening local lending. Regulators say any big shift would not happen overnight, but concerns are growing. Look, it's real simple. You get your cash that you would normally have in a savings, and you put it into a nice, small, risk-safe your yield from there. Or that, if you need to get a loan, you just do your loan through your exchange, Bitcoin. Hey, Bitcoin and yield coins fixes this. We don't need the banks anymore. And they realize that their days are now numbered. So let's go jump over into the CNBC. How are we looking here on a TradFi side? Let's get that up here. There we go. Looking at the Dow Jones, slightly down right now, about 4.4%. S&P percent there at 0.68, and the VIX, the volatility index, up 2% today, but it is about 15, so it's under that 17 mark. Not really concerned about the volatility index at this point. Looking at the bonds market, it's in the red today, seeing a little pullback on it. That means that people are buying the bonds right now. And then looking at the precious metals, we've got gold at $4,441.50 here. $6. So I'm actually showing $77 right now on the live chart. Copper is down about 3%, platinum down 8%, and palladium down 5%. So we are seeing a little bit of sell-off there on the precious metals. Looking at the crypto bubbles here today, Bitcoin's down 2.9%, Ethereum is down 4.1%, XRP taking a hit 8% to the gut. BNB's down 2.4%, Solana's down 5.1%. Looks like Tron is holding pretty decent. Look at that, up 1% on the daily and neutral on the hour, looking flat there. Dogecoin is down 4.7%. Other big movers, Cardano down 6%, pretty much giving away its gains from yesterday, down to 40 cents right now. Chainlink is down 5.4%. Leo token, that native token that was in the red yesterday, now in the green as the other tokens are selling off. People going back into their native decentralized token there on that exchange. Zcash is down 6.9%. Stellar Lumens down 6.3. Sui is down 6.3. Hyperliquid down 2.9. And looks like Athena's USDE has restabilized yesterday after that little slight nudge off of the $1 mark. Litecoin rounding out the top 20, down 3.2%. Looking at the economic calendar here, guys, we've got a lot of data that came in this morning on this that you need to know about. First of all, 30-year mortgage for December finally came out. That was slightly up, and now it's down 6.25. So we are seeing a little bit lower interest rate on 30-year fixed rate mortgage coming in. But the data that we really need to keep an eye on here is going to be ADP employment change for December. First of all, we did have a revision. This was previously at negative 32,000. They revised it up, which would be negative 29,000, about 3,000 jobs added to last month's report. But the consensus was that it would come in at like 47K, 45K. This would be a nice big jump. Came in just under that. So it was a big improvement from the November. You got to remember, in November, we had the federal shutdown, right? And now, so obviously negative 29 wasn't a surprise. A lot of people were unemployed during that month period. But they thought it was going to jump all the way back up to 47K. It actually came in at 41. So we are still seeing some weakness there. Looking at ISM manufacturing, 54.4 was at 52.6. I thought it would be like 52, 52.3. Came in better. This is expansion. This is the economic side of expansion. But then we get JOLTS job openings. We got one revision here. It was at 7.67 million, came in at 7.44 million. So we had about a 200,000 job erased there. But they thought it would be like 7.6, 7.7 million. Came in much lower at 7.1 million. And factory orders month over month coming in worse than expected also. So what does this mean? ADP came in at 41,000 jobs. That's below the level needed for a healthy labor growth. And it tells us that hiring is slowing. We've been talking about this for months, and this is continuing to be the case. JOLTS job openings fell to 7.1 million, confirming that the labor demand is cooling from the employer side. But here's the key balance. ISM, like right there, ISM services PMI actually came in strong at 54.4, meaning that the economy is expanding with less hiring. So what of this? This is a soft landing setup, guys. And so when we talk about hard landings, soft landings, so on and so forth with the economy, this is actually a decent setup for soft landing. Cooling labor, less wage pressure, no economic collapse. That keeps the rate cut narrative alive, but and remains supportive for risk assets, including crypto and equity. So that's what I'm getting here on the data today. That's how I analyze and assess this. That's what I see when I look at these numbers. This is actually not horrible. It is still weakening. We're still showing signs of weakness, especially in new factory orders. But we're not seeing hard crash. If the economy was doing this in line with the job numbers, we would be we would be in a hard crash position. But right now, looking at a soft landing, and of course, there's those private payrolls rose 41,000, slightly below the expectations. I think we just broke that down pretty good. We don't need to go into that. How are we looking for the chance of a rate cut? 82.8% chance of a pause. Let's refresh this. 86.2% chance of no rate cut in January. That's going to be the 28th coming up here in a couple of weeks, about 3 weeks from now. So 13.8% chance that we get a rate cut in January. The prediction markets are now showing. Let's go ahead and bring OC up on this because I think he's going to want to comment on this. Of course, Alex O has been talking about that's Canada, United States, Mexico, all one nation. Sure, why not? Let's go with it. Prediction markets show rising odds that Trump seizes the Panama Canal and then moves on to Greenland. OC. It's getting insane, man. Prediction market traders ramped up bets that more international shakeups may lie ahead in the wake of President Donald Trump's raid on Venezuela. Traders are burgeoning on the burgeoning platforms has recently committed money based on where the White House may turn its focus next. The amped up bets come as Wall Street and Main Street note that Trump's administration has shifted towards quick and forceful international strikes. The big takeaway for investors: Trump is growing much more comfortable with and his confidence in the use of military force. Piper Sandler analyst Andy Lapierre wrote to clients on Monday his first year in his second term was characterized by boundless energy and risk taking, and that has extended to the use of the military. Odds that Trump will take back the Panama Canal before early 2029 jumped above 35% on Kalshi predictions. From less than 30% late last week. And then Trump said last year that he wouldn't roll out using military force to gain control of that maritime route down there between the Pacific and the Atlantic. Likelihood that the U.S. will take control of any part of Greenland rose to 38% midday Tuesday, an increase of roughly 8% points since the middle of last week. So, man, let's talk about why he wants Greenland, OC, and then we'll get to you and ask you what your thoughts are on this. Why Trump wants Greenland and what makes it so important for national security. Greenland, a vast and sparsely populated, self-governed Danish territory, shout out to Mark Dutch, has been thrust into the geopolitical spotlight. U.S. President Donald Trump is fixated on taking control of Greenland, a vast, sparsely populated, and mineral-rich island. There you go. It's so strategic, Trump told reporters on board the Air Force One on Sunday. Right now, Greenland is covered with Russian and Chinese ships all over the place. We need Greenland from the standpoint of national security. The U.S. president, however, is yet to waver. Indeed, the White House ramped up transatlantic tensions even further on Tuesday, saying that Trump and his team are considering a range of options to make the self-governing Danish territory a part of the United States. OC, what the hell is going on? And your thoughts?
Well, I mean, I think right now, well, I keep seeing that the power that he can, that he's wielding with one single pointing finger, right? I mean, the moment that he does like that, well, things start happening, and well, I mean, it's not something new that the U.S. wants to acquire Greenland. It's been happening for a long, long, long time, right? In fact, the very first time I heard it was, I believe, on Obama's administration, if I'm not mistaken, right?
It was.
And
That is correct.
Yeah, and that has to do with the area where Greenland is located, its resources, and as you mentioned right now, how is it crawling with, let's just say, red parties, I don't know, ships, right? So the point is that that will also extend the U.S. Marine area to expand, and that will give them access to deep sea areas. Not only that, I mean, it just have so many benefits. And having the point at it, I think that was also kind of like a flex. Like we just smack a country, I mean, smack a president out of his country, right? And now we're just politely asking for Greenland, right? So I don't know.
Well, but there's been some arguments made by Denmark and stuff that look, Greenland is part of NATO. It's we don't need the United States to take control of it. It's part of NATO. If something happens with it, by default, the U.S. would get involved with it anyways. But it is questionable how much is going on up there, and plus the routeway up there is becoming more and more accessible by Russia because the ice is melting and it's opening up more waterways. But I got a picture here of what they're actually looking at here. So there's feldspar, graphite, molybdenum, nailed it, platinum group metals, rare earth minerals, titanium and vanadium. They're all sitting there. But I want to show you, this image is super, super interesting here, OC. Check this out. This is the Earth looking down from the North Pole. There's Greenland. There's good old America. Texas is way over here. Okay. Mexico is not even on this. You're around the curvature. Yes, the Earth is round. I'm sorry for those that believe it's not. But look at this. Look, if this ice is melting here, look, Russia's right there. Russia's right there. Russia's actually closer to Greenland than what the United States is when you look at where the U.S. is here. So, yeah, if this is melting away and they have any chance, that's just a short trip for Russia. So I understand his concern about it, but I don't know that we need to Like, look, put some sensors out there and go, it's a NATO nation. We can work with our NATO partners, put a NATO base out there and, as a watch, as a sensor station. And then if things go awry, it's a NATO nation. We have to as need be. So that's just my opinion. I don't know, but he seems pretty hell bent on getting Greenland. I'd like to know, what his end state is there, but um, who knows? Who knows, man? That's what I got there. Let's go jump over to my chart. Let's get into Bitcoin because that's what we're here to talk about, not geopolitical tensions. Even though they do move the markets. But here's what we were talking about last week, guys. Last week we were talking about this $89,000 level here, and this is where the delta in the game are where at. If you guys are wondering what they are sitting at right now, let's give it a refresh. Let's go look at our delta. Our delta is coming in bottom side 91,000, top side 92,000. Our gamma is sitting at $91,000. So that's the key pivot mark on the options right now. Options Greeks tables. The theta where they make their most money, $91,000 again. So yeah, $91,000 is the level to watch. And if we look at where we are, we're there right now. So we need to really hold this level right here. Let me get that line on for you. 91. Right there. There we go. That's the level that we need to watch. This is where we got our little bounce retest. Now we're coming down to test it again. Golden pocket giving a beautiful, beautiful rejection there. Flat Earth is the only Earth. Blackie Chan, I cannot even with you right now. So right there, nice rejection off that 618. Now losing the golden pocket completely. OC was talking about those dynamic reactors coming in right below that 91,000. Right below that $90,000 line. But I really do think that we could return back to our full range here, which was, again, between $86,000 to $90,000. We're seeing downside momentum here on the oscillator ribbon. Money flow is coming down. That's that green there. Volume is coming down. We did get a VWAP overbought that fired off, and we did get the True 7 that triggered right there. So we were about right here when this thing fired and said, we're losing energy. Down she goes. On the high time frame, what am I watching for here? Again, if we do continue to the upside, it would be this range of about 98,500, top side of this 103. That is going to be your bull market support band, which has gotten very wide, very fat, very thick. It's a thick one right there, along with the 52-week simple moving average. If we do continue to the downside, watch for 86,000. That's going to be your 100-week moving average, where we've gotten all of our bounce of support here. So, OC, let's go take a look at a couple of alts. Wait, if you want to know why Greenland asked Peter Thiel, I saw something on that, Lunar, but I haven't watched it yet. I did see the headline on that, so I'll have to look at it and find out what it is. Martin Dutch said, who the hell is Peter Thiel? There you go. There you go. OC, we got about 13 minutes. What are you watching on some altcoins? And we'll give you some time to get in and jump on that. What do you got for us, man?
Dude, first let me complain about this shit. I've been no kidding. I mean, you can show. I've been no kidding the whole show doing this shit. I mean, I'm getting so frustrated, man. This is I don't know what am I doing wrong, and it just goes on and on and on. All right, whatever. I'll just try to log into that thing. I just needed to complain. All right, very quickly. Yeah, man, dude, no kidding. My hand is freaking on pain right now. All right, really quickly, Solana, we just have to break out of that trend line that we were expecting yesterday. Very quickly, are you going to be jumping in for a short? Not quite there yet. If you want to jump in for a short, remember this is going to be a very dangerous short, and your stop loss should be right inside on this previous high on this trend line. If not, if you want to go for the secure trade or the more secure trade, just wait for maybe one more candle, maybe another candle, and if it rejects out of here, that's when you are shorting. If it start closing back inside, well then buckle up. We're gonna have a continuation, and then our target is gonna be all the way up in here. So far we haven't broken through that zero line, and let's actually make it much more visible. So let's bring this one up here. Let's double click it. Let's do 0. There it is. And of course, let's lock it right here so we cannot move it. Perfect. So we have not yet crossed our zero line. We're still positive on our money flow, and our volume matrix, it's still pretty good. Our prime score is still pretty bullish, which means, I mean, remember, we're going to be very bullish as long as we're above dynamic reactor. So we could be expecting something like this if we reject once again out of this trend line. So keep your eyes peeled. I'm going to go right now for a short position, a dangerous short position. This is going to be a quarter of an entry right here. I'm just going to mark it. I'm not going to be trading this until I have this candle closed. So you'll see today at night that this might be changing depending on what the candle close is and if we are breaking or bouncing off that zero line. So Solana for the win. Let's take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum is basically doing the exact same thing. Let me actually clear this up. I was expecting more of a range, especially since we have this order blocking here. Nonetheless, the order block is acting as a support. We have broken the trend line. I know this is very messy, so let's clean this up. There we go. It's still a little messy, I know. We have a big order block here, a high order block, but we don't have quite there yet our dynamic reactor. We have broken the trend line right here, and we could be expecting the exact same thing, a breakout retest continuation. All right. So in this case, what I'm going to be going for to balance out my my setup is going to be a long position, and I'm going to be grabbing these lows as a little threshold right there, and then aiming back inside the trend line. So this is what I'm going to be aiming for. Let me actually mark this, and right at the end of the show I'm going to be taking the trade. So again, this entry might change just a little bit depending on how that candle closes. So that's what I got on Ethereum. Let's go over render. Render seems a little bit more bearish. In fact, I'm gonna go in, want to make a short right away. So short position right here, stop loss right somewhere around here. Why? Because we already have the breakout retest. We should have to enter somewhere around there, but we're catching onto it. It's something that I'm not liking right now about that short. Just so you guys know the dangers of this short, it is that again we are not through that zero line, which means we can still bounce from here, but I expect that bounce might be happening in there. Although, once again, we have the support zone right in here. So be careful with this one. This will be a quarter of an entry. And when I pass it over to you, this is going to be the first one I'm going to be trading render. And finally, I want to go to XRP. XRP was already gone yesterday that we were looking at it, and I'm just waiting for that bounce on the two order blocks that we have. I might even change, there you go, not only my alert but my entry point a little bit higher, somewhere around there. And what I'm looking for in here, it is the flip of the ribbon. So wait for that flip of the ribbon, and well, then set your alerts. I'm changing my alert to 216 in my possible entry somewhere around 213. So that's what I got so far on some altcoins. Let me pass that over to you, Piper, and let me see if you want me to tackle some more. I'm looking at Monero, for example.
Yeah, I pulled up about Peter Thiel and what he was saying about the U.S. one in Greenland. Basic summary on it. Here, I'll just tell her. Give me a quick summary. The quick summary is, he said it's not about expansion or colonization. Peter Thiel argues that the U.S. wants Greenland because it's strategically critical. It sits at a key military crossroads between North America and Eurasia, anchors Arctic defenses and missile warning systems, and gives access to future Arctic shipping lanes and critical minerals. In his view, as great power competition with China and Russia intensifies, Greenland is about national security and supply chain control, not colonization. And failing to secure influence there would leave dangerous power vacuum. He actually, in the full version, it actually talks about that we missed the mark post Cold War on how valuable that block was. And to add on to your risk comment that you made before, OC, the other day, He said that looking at the entire map, that's one of the most critical squares on the map right now is Greenland. So there's your play. Greenland, very important in the game of Risk. So what do you got for us on Monero? We'll go jump over to that, and then we're going to head out of here and send everyone over to Crypto Coin Mindset. Keith got a premiere today on Bitcoin scarcity and why it's so important. So let's go ahead and finish up what you're looking at on Monero, bro.
Dude, no kidding. Oh, finally. All right. So, man, I was about to really
OC's still
bitch
playing the
about that,
puzzle
man.
game.
Man, it's been the longest, not kidding, 20 minutes doing that thing. That I don't know if I'm a robot or not at this point. All right, Monero, looking that we have. Oh, come on, let me just clean this up. This was even too much for myself. So let's go over this one. We have broken this trend line, perfect. And the important part is that we're going to both dynamic reactor and quantum reactor. That's a very strong area of support. So I'm going to be looking for that possible long somewhere around here. Very, 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 very important. We have kind of like a rising channel right here. So what is important about this, I'm trying to measure between this low and between this high. So in the middle, because if I push it too high, it is just a hole in there. If I push it too low, I have no leverage in here. All right. So I'm trying to get in between those points. All right, just so you guys, if you were wondering, what am I not that precise. So right here, this is very close to the bottom line in here. I believe that this could be a very good area for the next pump, and I'm not expecting like a huge pump like this, but something that could make us money throughout this week. So I'm expecting something like that if Bitcoin does range or even holds its ground in there. So let me go over daily. Daily is going to be very, very important because we have another big, huge trend line in here. In fact, this is not really a trend line. This is a parabola. Long time since I used that word. But yeah, this is a parabolic movement. You can see it right here. And depending on how you draw that parabolic movement, we could be at the edge or even breaking through that parabola, right? So right now, I'm going to put it as if we were not breaking, because we could even do something like that, right? Where we have the breakout retest. But so far, I'm going to set it up like this. And what I'm going to be looking for, just like in Bitcoin, it's going to be either a breakout or a previous high, just to get here to a dead cat bounce, right? And for that, I'm gonna bring up the rest of my indicators. There we go. We have a soft order block. I think we're not gonna hit it, and which means, and let me just clear this up once again. Now that we have everything, which means that I believe that we're gonna do this. Right. So that's what I'm counting, this parabolic movement back up. Keep your eyes up at Monero, because yes, we're having the flip of the wheel. We just need to do this and have this high to have a double top, just like in here, to then squeeze both a long out of this and a short out of this. So keep your eyes on Monero. I'm going to set alerts in here, right down below and right above. I'm going to be modifying this alert to this previous bottom. So, oh, a little bit better. There we go. So it alerts me when the price is moving. So that's what I got on Monero. 2 minutes to spare. Passing it over to you, Piper.
Awesome. Appreciate it, man. Guys, make sure you guys check out OC, Trey Live with OC every single evening at, I believe it's 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I may be wrong. I don't know. Every evening, though. You should go check it out. Also, tomorrow morning, I do believe BC will be back again. He was there this morning with Good Morning Crypto. The one thing you can always count on, I will be right here Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. unless I'm on vacation. Someone will be here for the morning market report. Appreciate you guys joining us today. If you guys got anything out of today's content, make sure you smash up the like button. If you're new here and you haven't subscribed, because a absurd amount of my viewers do not subscribe, then do so. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and get notified when we go live. We'll be back here tomorrow morning. Until then, guys, trade safe, use some risk management, and put my ticker back on the bottom of my screen there. There we go. And guys, remember, peace, love, profits, all that. We will be back here at 10 a.m. Until then, guys, be kind to yourself, be kind to others. Later. Oh, hey, when we get over to the premiere with Crypto Coin Mindset, make sure you drop graduation caps. Later, guys.
That's the rap. Chart stack data never lie. Piper led the mission, OC in the sky. Spaghetti on the screen, but the vision stay prime. Chart prime visual, signals on time. Alumni strong, we built from the grind. Lessons in the market that'll outlive time. Knowledge is profit, you know how we run. Till the next one, stay sharp, get it done.
You can't handle the truth. Emotional damage.
We'll see you at the next
Don't
one.
know what the fuck they're doing.
Morning market report out. 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 Out.
Boom shakalaka.
We'll see you at the next one. Morning market report out. We'll see you at the next one. Morning market report. Ow.
That was awesome, dude. Hey, it didn't break. What else you got?